Hey guys, so still doing secret stuff that I can't tell you about or show you, so I'm not going to do that, but I am going to take another question that'll take more time to answer than I usually do in the question of the day, because that's all I'm doing for the vlog for the next couple of weeks. I'm going to take this one from Ashrock, who says, what would you suggest to people who are most used to realism but want to learn to develop a more cartoony art style? That's a very good question. There's sort of a few parts of that. There's sort of what you want and then how you get what you don't have stylistically. What you want, in my opinion, or what you're naturally inclined to and enjoy most, is what you should prioritize. I remember I did, in my high school art class, I was doing a lot of cartoons, and my art teacher recognized that I had talent, but didn't particularly, I wouldn't say approve, but wasn't thrilled about the fact that I was spending so much time drawing cartoons and comic book characters. And so she would try and encourage me to try realism and abstract and whatever else, but dissuade me from cartoons and actually say things like, occasionally, like, you're wasting your time with cartoons and comics, or you won't get anywhere with that. Joke's on her. So I honestly, like, I'm really glad and grateful that back then I didn't heed that. Because were I a little more fragile or a little more needing of her approval, or felt like I needed her guidance, or there was a right and wrong way to go about being an artist, I wouldn't have ended up where I am now. And I wouldn't have been as happy as I am now in what I do. Because I get a lot of joy in creating art and animation that's comic-y and cartoony and silly and simple and fun. But I also have a lot of fun challenging myself from time to time with things like realism, abstract and all that stuff. But it's only in a dabbling, experimentative, creative, fun, sharing the process with you guys sort of way. It's not actually something I like to stay in, if that makes sense. It's like holidaying in bizarre countries, but I don't want to stay there because I like my home, which is this. So then the main crux of the question that Ashrock asks is, what if you want to learn or develop a style that's different to the one that you're trained in, I guess you could say. My answer to that is a scientific one. I am a scientifically informed chap. My answer to that is, I don't know what, there's a law of thermodynamics. I'm not even going to try and actually nail it down, but it's not entropy. It's the one where, like, let's say you have hot and cold and you mix it, they end up in the middle. But if you have an immovable source of cold and you mix in hot, it becomes cold. And if you have an immovable source of hot and you mix in cold, it becomes hot. Am I making sense? Not to the scientific people. I guess the idea is, if there's something that is anchored or something that is constantly present and unchanging, or the constant source of the really poorly expressed thing I'm trying to say is, if you want to learn a style that you're not naturally trained in, or you surround yourself with it. And the more you anchor yourself to that style, the more you try it, absorb it, observe it, keep that cycle going, the more it will naturally become a part of your own style. You will, however, have natural tendencies. I have natural tendencies that are very cartoony and comic-y, like I mentioned before. And if I wanted to become really well trained in traditional, very hyper-realistic oil painting, for example, and I surrounded myself with inspiration and sources that were that visually, and I constantly sought to emulate them and create them, and I did that for years, I would, over time, gradiate towards that style naturally. However, what has been my natural style will sort of echo through that style until it fades away. And I don't know if they would sort of come to some harmony and there would be a subtle presence of my current style in that more realistic oil painting style, whatever. But the point is, whatever doesn't move and you move towards is where you will end up. And I guess if you want to draw more cartoony, watch a lot of your favorite cartoons, but observe them, replicate them, create your own inspired by them, and keep that cycle going, because you will eventually find that you draw quite like them, but in your own way, which is the best way to do it. Anyways, that's it for this one today. Simple one, keeping them fairly straightforward and just answering a few questions. I hope this is interesting to you guys. Let me know in the comments if it's a change of pace, that's for sure. So there'll be a few more of these coming over the next couple of weeks until I can reveal the big, secret, exciting Operation Vertigo that I've been working on. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.